too old for this shit. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is Tearlaments Tuesday. My brothers in Christ, I was about to tell you guys about kicking rheumatoid arthritis' ass, but today I guess we're gonna talk about
the rogue decks that have been kicking the meta's ass.
There were actually quite the few events that happened over the course of the weekend. Florida, Germany, Italy, Texas, Germany, UK, and you already know, all my exes live in Texas. And today we're gonna be ranking the top Yu-Gi-Oh decks based upon that. These strategies are a lot stronger than you think. Of course, big dog, in this tier list, I have 5 different categories that I'm going to briefly explain to you. Top Rogue is the cream de la crop. These are the best rogue decks available. Solid Choice ain't bad, bro. It's actually really, really good. It is the next level after that. Good enough to steal some W's. You definitely gonna have your opponent flipping the table if you beat him with this rogue deck. Takes a really good pilot is gonna need extra effort from you to be able to establish the W's that you may wanna see. And then there's Copium. This deck is really good. It is a top rogue deck. Nothing should stop it. I promise you, my friend. It is the best. Do not say, oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's good. It's good. Okay, big dog. So the criteria for these decks are simple, my friend. First, how well do these strategies play into some of the top competitive decks in Yu-Gi-Oh? I actually made a video on the top 5 meta decks this format. If you want to check out more information about them, go ahead and click on that link. But if I had to give you a definitive 5, it would go to Branded, Labyrinth, Materia Runick, Sprite, and of course, Kashtira. And statistically, those have been some of the most powerful decks in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Of course, not only that, as a rogue strategy, you also have to respect some of the most popular cards being played against those strategies. You do not want those strategies to wreck yours. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, Book of Eclipse, Nibiru, and of course, Kaiju and Kaiju-like cards are being played like crazy. All of these scenarios factor in when picking one of these strategies and putting it on the rogue tier list. But of course, if you disagree, go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section which strategy you think I put too high, too low, or which strategies that I missed. Let's go ahead and start off with ABC. This deck is actually a little bit better than what people think. With Ancient Fairy Dragon coming off the list, it actually does become a lot stronger. In my last locals vlog, I actually got destroyed by this deck. I think that it's good enough to steal W's, especially seeing that there's not a lot of hand traps that can really work on this deck. Cards like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and Nibiru only work if they haven't already established a Therion monster to the side of the field, and saying that the new version of the deck can make Baron de Fleur, Therion, and the ABC Dragon Buster, breaking the board with a card like Book of Eclipse or even a Kaiju isn't necessarily enough. I would say though, this deck's bad matchups would easily be playing into trap-based Yu-Gi-Oh decks or going against Kashtira Riseheart, but overall this strategy is pretty good. Drytron, my friends, something that yo girl is never around me. I'm just playing, dog, but I'm gonna Natasha her when I say that this is a solid choice Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Now, I did talk about Drytron a little bit in yesterday's video, as some of the top Yu-Gi-Oh players have been picking this deck up. It's mainly because Artifact Lancia is a searchable Yu-Gi-Oh card in this deck. My guy! Free Kashtira claps right here, just hand them out. On top of that, with the Bestial monsters being played less, and this deck being able to Vanity's Ruler you before you can Nibiru and preventing you from Kaijuing, this is a really good Yu-Gi-Oh deck right now. I had so much hope for Evil Eyes, my guys. Like, I had every intention of putting this into good enough to steal W. Solid choice. Oh, but statistically, it just must take a good pilot. I'm not coping, my friend. I'm not coping. This deck is a little bit better than what you are giving it credit. Evil Eye easily plays under Nibiru, Ash, and Book of Eclipse, because it's a link deck that doesn't summon 5 times. And since the engine is consistent and small, it also has the utility to be able to play some great Yu-Gi-Oh cards to help you break some of the best decks or steal your opponent's monsters to use it for your own links. What I would say that this deck struggles is that Kaiju monsters exist, and they exist in mass. Overall though, I do think that it is a solid deck. It will just take a better player than the deck to be able to play effectively. Floowandereeze, my guys, you talked about how the birds weren't the word, and after banning barrier statue, this deck ain't good, but be real, you know it's a solid choice. My guy, this was the deck that was playing Book of Moon before Book of Moon was good. Put some respect on this name. I think some of the best qualities about Floowandereeze are the cards that players are starting to explore. The Unexplored Winds, ironically, is a kaiju card that lets you tribute your opponent's cards, and Floowandereeze Snowl allows you to flip your opponent's monsters face down. It's a walking Book of Eclipse that gives you 3 additional normal summons. My guy, what are we doing here? Generators are such a fun Yu-Gi-Oh deck to play, though I do think that the player would have to be better than the deck for it to be effectively good. It's fairly decent against a lot of the top decks, but I don't see an it factor that this deck has that is just like extremely good against some of the top decks. Though I cannot lie, Book of Eclipse doesn't flip them tokens face down, but it surely does stop the monster from getting its full value. Heroes, guys, in this current format, I think you have to be a genuine hero to pilot this deck effectively. My guy, Nibiru, Kaijus, Book of Eclipse, oh my god, you're asking to be destroyed. I think in this format, a dedicated hero player can do well, but if you casually walk in thinking you gonna play heroes, it ain't happening. Not all heroes wear capes, my friend. You need to be born with one to be able to play this deck right now. Libromancer, guys. Holy. I still think that Libromancer is a combo deck that is good enough to steal Ws. Unfortunately, it did not do what we thought it would do, which was be a meta deck. But that's because we didn't recast your Rice Heart. A lot of you guys didn't. Y'all thought Swords of Concealing Light would counter it. Overall, though, another talking point for Libromancers are Kaijus. Those could pretty much ruin your inboard. Earth Machine, guys. You guys have not seen an Earth Machine deck in so long. And that's because it's the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! My guys, why would I want to play cards like Triple Tactics Talent where my entire combo revolves around drawing 2 cards, playing Floodgates, and also using Vernal Sylph cards to send it to the graveyard? Let's be real, guys. Earth Machine is in a bad spot. If you want to play a Floodgate deck, play Labyrinth. It's better. If you want to draw multiple cards, well, just play Dark World. It's better. You guys know in my heart of hearts, I love Earth Machine and the Earth Machine community, but if we're being honest right here, it's not a great deck right now. We need more support. We down bad. Marincess, boys. It's not Marincess if I say your girl plays Marincess because it's Drytron. I would easily say Marincess is one of the better choices in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. This deck is actually cracked. Players are finally starting to pick up that World Sea Dragon Z-Lantis is an amazing Yu-Gi-Oh! Card in this deck. And it's not like I've been saying this for like, I don't know, like Darkwing Blast? My guys, you can tell who doesn't watch TheCaliEffect and who does by the information that they get and when they receive it. I'll be hooking y'all up. The only thing you should do is subscribe to help your boy out. Another thing that I like about Marincess is not only searching an infinite impermanence in Marincess Wave, but also making big chunky girls that are unaffected. My guy, what are you doing? This deck is really, really good into the format. In Mathmech, I actually had in my top 5, but if it wasn't those 5, I had to put it in Rogue. Thank you, execs. I'm the exec. I decided. Mathmech is easily a top Rogue Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy. This deck has been topping over the course of the format and is really, really good. You also have to think that Bestials, DD Crow, and Call by the Grave being played a lot less makes this deck a ton better. This is a strategy that makes hand traps look silly, doesn't care about the kaijus because it's already gotten its full value, and of course, Book of Eclipse because you can't flip Link monsters face down. It also is just the best walking OTK Cyberse deck. Ninjas, my guys, in this particular format, I would say is good enough to steal them dubs. My brothers in Christ, you don't want me to clap you up with ninjas. I'll pull out the kunais and y'all ain't winning. Ninjas have an almost instant win Kashtira matchup, but a terrible back row matchup. And with decks like Traptrix and Labyrinth being really good, I would say tread with caution, though this is good enough to steal some W's. Har Plunder Patrol! I miss Pirate Cali. I would say that this is a solid choice Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. Now, originally, I had this at good enough to steal W's, and it's mainly because the Plunder Patrol cards themselves can be honest sometimes. They can be really, really good, give your opponent a token and clap them up and get so much advantage that you steamroll, and then they can also just be just themselves. They be looking for booty and not finding it. But then Top Deck TJ reminded me of the Runick version of Plunder Patrol, which actually allows you to control the tempo of the game until you draw plunders and gives you other synchro plays. This is a solid choice. Same thing with P.U.N.K, boys. I think P.U.N.K is the best version of the P.U.N.K deck, and it is crazy because of the new Libromancer that allows you to be able to send plants to the graveyard. The Therion engine becomes so easy to summon. And since the punks give you free synchro access, you can protect your Yugioh from cards like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but you can also stop your opponent from using cards like Book of Eclipse to counter your board. Also, if you guys have not seen the P.U.N.K Therion version in boards, they're deadly. Purrely is perfectly in the copium range. My guys, just not right now is his time. This cat will soon be a better deck. Rikka, I would easily put in the top rogue category. This deck is actually phenomenal. My guy, I have never seen someone rage quit as hard as tributing their cards for your effects. It's actually really, really good right now. It's solid. Romanian Deadlifts, also known as Rocket Dragon Link, I would say is a solid choice Yu-Gi-Oh deck. What I like about Rockets is actually something that seems counterproductive at times, but the bestial monsters they're low-key good. My guy, you're actually going to be able to stop a lot of situations that your opponent won't see coming because of the bestials, and because this is a dragon deck, being able to search off a Magnamut, get you into your combos, I love it. If you're playing pure Runick, I have some things that I want to say to you guys. I just want to talk to you after the game, no matter who wins or lose, that's all, you know. Don't bring anybody. Now, I know Solomon Great got top 4 at YCS Lima. Don't do it, guys. This is literally just a worse Mathmech deck. Like, this deck OTK is better. I would say 100% Scareclaw takes a really good pilot. My problem with Scareclaw is that one of the better variants in Scareclaw Kashtira, well, you play enough Kashtira cards to just play Kashtira. And also with the heavy emergence of Kaiju cards, losing your Scareclaw Tri-Heart to a Kaiju is my brother in Christ. You're not scaring anyone with those little kitty claws. Sky Striker players, whatever you do, I want to let you know that we're still friends. You guys are great pilots if you're doing great things with this deck. But you do understand Raise 13, right? Right? My problem with Sky Striker right now is that players are playing a lot of back row removal to be able to counter Traptrix in Labyrinth, and it just so happens to be really good against Sky Striker. Come on, big dog. You already know one of my favorite decks, So Swole, is a top row deck. My guys, I am one with the warrior. Before Ninja Cali, there was Swole Cali, and he's still swole. This deck is incredibly good because the Team monsters are like, oh my god. Free special summons an ad with Otter and Ashuna, and Vishuda is a get out of jail free card against a lot of the cards in the game. The fact that your opponent has to waste disruptions on your Team cards and then you can follow with Sword Soul cards is what gives this deck a massive advantage. Ironically, Tearlaments are in Rogue, and I don't know how to feel about this. This is one of the most dominant decks in recent Yu-Gi-Oh history. I would say that right now it's just good enough to steal W's. What players have been doing right now is that they've been using a branded engine to send Mud Dragon to the graveyard through Grand Cannoli, and that allows you to be able to trigger the effect of your Tearlament monsters by shuffling in that Mud Dragon to be able to fusion summon into your Tearlament cards. Pretty clever. But if you didn't fuck up the last format, you probably would have had more Tearlament cards. Think about that next time. Thunder Dragon is actually a lot better than what you guys give it credit. Yo, hold on. I'm gonna go and make my bold take. I think this deck's good enough to steal some W's. My guy, there is some cards from Photon Shockwave that actually really work with this deck. Mental Tuner is mental. The biggest problem for Thunder Dragon was being able to banish cards consistently. Not only is Mental Tuner a emergency teleport target, it also can allow you to banish Thunder Dragons consistently. And seeing that Thunder Dragons are chaos cards, holy, this deck is a lot better than what you're giving it credit, I promise you that. Traptrix like Sword Soul, like Mathmech, like Rikka could arguably not be considered rogue. This is easily one of the best strategies in the game right now. Though I think universally players would not consider any of these decks as top Yu-Gi-Oh decks, I think they respect them all because they're just really powerful into the format. What Traptrix brings to the table is that it's fairly cheap and it's really good. It also makes trap hole cards good, and who wouldn't want that? My guy, I've been trying to find a way to play CP bottomlesses, and this is my chance, and you're not going to tell me. I'm going to play those CP bottomlesses. Tri-Brigade is actually in a really interesting spot. It's solid right now. It's good enough to steal W's. What I like about this deck is that since it's not good enough to side for, it's actually good enough to play. It's just one of those strategies where if you don't see it coming, it actually can do some really good damage. Dinos, my boys, you know where we at with that. It takes a good pilot. A Rise Hard Pass is like a death sentence, my guy. Trap-based Yu-Gi-Oh decks? Oh my God, come on. Where do we wake up in a Twilight Zone? Dino does best in a break my board format, where your opponent summons big chunky monsters to the field and say, hey, you can't beat it, because more often than not, Dino can beat it. The problem with that is that decks have follow-up, and we're not in a break my board format right now. What Dino really sucks at is in that battle of attrition where we need multiple copies of Mist. Konami, you know what to do to solve this problem. Umi is also... copium. Stop coping, my guys. The dream is dead. As much as I want Mako to be a great Yu-Gi-Oh deck right now, getting Book of Eclipse is like a death sentence. Okay, all right. I'm actually gonna... I would say it's not as bad as these decks. It's in the takes a really good pilot. And lastly, Dark Worlds, my boy. Come on, top row, easy. Dark World is a lot better than what people give it credit. Some people say that Dark World isn't consistent enough. Well, I mean, that's because you built the deck bad. I'd have to say that most of Dark World's skill comes from being able to build a Dark World deck that can statistically approach the Yu-Gi-Oh card game to be able to not only break boards, but also Dark World hand loop, because ripping for 4 is good, but ripping for 5 is very possible with this deck. And setting up a board your opponent can't win. It just reminds me of Topologic Gumblar Dragon combos, and this deck can consistently do it. Actually, probably a little bit more consistent than the Topologic Gumblar Dragon combos. And that's all that I have for my Rogue tier list, guys. Of course, if you think that one of these strategies is a little bit too high or too low, let me know. And also, if you want to see a different type of tier list, be sure to let your boy know as well. Until then, you can check out these videos as I catch you on the next one.